Thank you for joining us. Untitled Hannah Jeffrey Project. I am Hannah Jeffrey. You just saw a clip from my forthcoming musical, Lip Sunk, the only entirely lip-synced musical ode to classical music. We'll now hear one more number from the play. Maestro.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, hey everybody. Hey guys, thanks for coming out. We're gonna do a little bit of improv for you here tonight. So I'm Hannah, this is Hannah, and we are Hannah. And let's see, I asked for a non-familial relationship in the chat, and I got judge and bailiff. So I'm gonna take one quick moment. Excuse me. Well, I've been working as the bailiff in this here courthouse for 35 years. And when I say it's the best damn job I've ever had, I mean that. I have never once had a job that has been anywhere near as nice as this job. I mean, I come in and I stand in my spot all morning long, and I just think, nobody's got a better life than me. I'm the luckiest son of a bitch in this place. I mean, I have a job that has 2 bathrooms. I've never had that before. Man, just thinking about coming to work and thinking I can go somewhere in the morning and somewhere else in the afternoon, and nobody is gonna say boo about it. I mean, if I go twice in the toilet in my home, I only have the one. My mama comes up and she's like, what's with all of this? And there's nowhere that I can poop and pee repeatedly that makes me feel safe. And so I guess that's just why I'm really excited to continue working here. When I came to America, I figured that I would be surrounded by American mimes, scholars, thinkers, businessmen. The only person I see every day is Carl. Carl's the bailiff, I'm the judge, and you would think that I would deserve a certain level of respect from Carl. But nothing is more important to Carl than his bathrooms. And I find that offensive. Things have been tough. Things have been tough ever since we got switched into courtrooms, and now I see Carl every single day. I don't know what to say. Ooh. All rise, everybody up, get up, all rise, all rise, all rise for the judge. You may be seated. We're here today to hear a case of 2 murders. Ooh, yikes. These murders were connected, but we don't know how. And today's prosecution should be able to clear that up for us, I hope. I should say so. But let me tell you, if nothing gets cleared up here, there are 2 bathrooms in this joint where you can clear it all out. I have already done it once today. I plan on doing it again. Please stop talking. You have no part in these proceedings other than saying, all rise. I have opinions, Your Honor. It's not just me standing here every day thinking about bathrooms. I have opinions. I'm a 3-dimensional man. We're going to call a brief recess because clearly this is not a good environment in which to develop law. So just clear out of the chamber. Yeah, that's right. Go on out. Everybody up. Go ahead. Everybody get up. Everybody get out. Come here. Yes. The only other person left in the courtroom. Come over here. What do you need? I've decided to quit. I'm not going to be a judge anymore. Was it something I did? Yes. You did. You know, it's been a long time since I've been coming in here, coming out of those chambers, putting on my robe, sitting down here and making decisions that become laws. But it wasn't until today when I saw you talking to them, when I saw you getting the crowd ramped up, that I thought, I've got it all wrong. All these years I've been hating you, trying to get away from you. But what I want to be is I know, don't gloat. Please don't gloat. This is not anything. You wanna be me. You wanna dance like me. You wanna take me back to your home and live like me. Thank you. That's our set. Thanks so much, everybody.
Yay. Thank you, Hannah. That was amazing.
It's not over.
Okay. So.
You just have to do a lot of these. They're everybody's favorite part. This one looks good. Oh, I didn't see you there. Welcome to Story Corners. Today we'll be reading one of my absolute favorite books, Little House on the Prairie, Dog. A long time ago, when all the prairie granddogs and prairie grandmoms of today were just little pups, there lived the Prairie family. The Prairies lived in a neighborhood with hundreds of other prairie dogs on the Sonoran Desert in a faraway place called Arizona. Out of all the prairie dogs, the prairies were the closest knit bunch. The mothers, Ma Prairie, Mama Prairie, Mom Prairie, and Mommy Prairie, spent their days working in the tunnels and tending to the children. Mary Prairie, Baby Carrie Prairie, Gary Prairie, Barry Prairie, Larry Prairie, Harry Prairie, and Scooter. Fathers often came and went, as was common in prairie dog communities, due to the fact that females only mate 1 hour once a year. That month, the Prairie family had 2 fathers, Pa Prairie and Greg Dad. Pa Prairie had been with Ma Prairie since the beginning. And it was odd for a male prairie to stick with one mate for so long. Ma Prairie and Pa Prairie were special. Their love was something else. Greg Dad had gotten Mommy Prairie pregnant after an all-night sentry shift They spent together, but everyone knew that Greg Dad was seeing other moms. One day, Pa Prairie said it was time to leave their burrow the pups had lived in all their lives. The neighborhood had gotten too crowded for Pa, and he wanted to move west. The mothers were used to this kind of behavior from the men around town. They told him good riddance and reminded him that female prairie dogs stay together for life. No, Pa said. He wasn't leaving for a younger mate. He wanted them all to go. We'll trailblaze for the next group of dogs that come out west, Pa said. The Prairie family would be the first prairie dogs of the California prairie, something that made Pa Prairie very, very excited. In California, they would build a new burrow. The pups would finally have their own complicated system of tunnels so they could navigate an entire colony of prairie dogs, all on their own. Little Perry Prairie often imagined herself standing at attention on top of a hill, pawing at the air and yipping to warn of angry rattlesnakes looking for the next meal. It was the last day of winter when Pa announced they'd be leaving the next day. The prairie pups went to sleep, while the mothers stood watch all night, looking out one last time on the fields they had called home for so many years. They knew the danger in what they were doing. Prairie dogs are called the candy bars of the prairie for a reason. They're the one thing everyone loved to eat. And it was no secret that the species was in trouble. On plains where there had been hundreds of millions of prairie dogs, today the communities were dwindling. And on top of that, the odds of surviving the first year of the prairie dog are only about 50%. Even if the pups made it to California, they were just as likely to get swooped up by a vulture or eaten by a badger as they were to live. Nevertheless, the next morning, after one last sleep in their crowded but familiar burrow, pups huddled together on the backs of their parents. And the family started their trek. Once the pups grew strong enough, they would walk themselves. Until then, they had to cling to the backs of their elders in a desperate struggle to survive. What would become of the prairies in the great Californian prairies? Was it death? It was. By the end of the next year, only Greg Dad survived, after a pack of foxes came to the burrow and devoured the family. Greg Dad went on to carry out the prairie legacy for 3 more days, until he was eaten by a hawk. The end. I like that one. It tells us a lot of really well-researched, accurate information about prairie dogs and puts it into a context that we can all understand. Settling America. Which frankly is the way we should always learn. If it doesn't make sense to you, put it in the context of a prairie dog colony.